Aloha, all you moneymakers out there. This is Indar Lang, and I have the pleasure to be in-house talking to Mr. Daniel Kong. He's a good friend, and actually, we just sat here and talked for like an hour before this. And sorry you guys missed that all. But let's dive into it. We're going to have a fun episode. Daniel is a great friend and a great flipper, investor, just good person here in Hawaii, and let's dive onto it. So let's do it, guys. Just before we get started, I'd love it if you guys could subscribe below, and that way we can reach more people and just help people make their money work for them in any different way we can. Thank you guys, and let's get started in today's content. So Daniel, tell me about yourself. Tell me what high school you went to and where'd you grow up. And
born and raised here in Hawaii, Pro City. Pro City High School, Chargers, go Chargers.
What year did you graduate?
97.
And you said, oh shit, I'm 2000, so you got
yeah, so I'm 2 years older than me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just born and raised here in Hawaii, like living my life. I was a software developer for like a long period of time, and then about 5 years ago, I read this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, which everybody read. Like it kind of it blew my mind and kind of started me on the whole journey of like financial freedom and real estate investing. And over the next 3 years, I got heavily into burring out of state and also here in Hawaii, and eventually built up enough passive income from rentals to replace my job as a software developer. Once I got there, I decided to go full time to real estate investing. Now we're flipping houses here in Hawaii, but doing a little commercial and multifamily out of state, and just living our best lives, basically.
Yeah. So we were just talking earlier where we met, and I think I've known Daniel since 2018, 17, somewhere in there. 18, 19, somewhere in there. I think.
About 19 probably.
And it was probably meetups or I don't know what it was. But there was an event at Keller Williams. A lot of agents were there, and we were talking BRRRR strategy back then. This was, was new to me and him at the time. And he was talking about Wells Fargo actually and using them. And I was trying to do it with hard money. And I remember really deeply diving into that conversation because I think I spoke at the event, and there was a lot of people asking questions. But I was more interested in talking to Daniel because we're talking BRRRR. And that was when it was like. It was cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably in 2019 was when I was like heavy into it. Bigger pockets influence, and so all my first 8 deals were all BRRRRs, and so I was just the whole process. And there were some ninja things you can do on the refinance side to overcome the 6 months things. And I don't know, we were probably talking about some ninja tips like that. I know you like your ninja tips.
Yeah. Well, what are ninja tips to overcome? You got to own it for 6 months.
So typically you have to own it for 6 months, right?
6 months
but then that's for a cash out refinance. But if you do a rate in terms, you can do immediately. And so basically if you have a private lender come in, it can be your LLC. It's a faster turnaround. So
I still got to remember to do that now for some of my deals and make sure that we're going to BRRRR.
Yeah, you just got to know on the front end if you're going to do commercial. And it's only conventional, right? So if you're doing commercial, it's a different set of rules.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, to record mortgage. Yeah, yes. But for people who don't know what BRRRR and stuff is, that we constantly think about this. We were just talking about just now of the velocity of money technically we're talking about, where we'll buy deals with hard money, expensive money, and we'll do a refinance out. Even at a high term, we don't care about the rates. But our goals are to get money back out of the deal as quickly as we can, get our investors, our money, whatever it is, back out of the deal, even if you're paying, 7, 8, 9, 10%, whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we borrow money at 12% from our private money investors. So if we're paying 10%, there's still arbitrage as to what we're paying versus what we're
and you can take that same 12% now and make you more money here.
Yeah.
So the velocity of money.
Because we borrow money at 12%, for all of our deals, then basically I think of that's my baseline. So if I have money sitting in my bank account, I know at any point in time I can lend it to you, to another friend at 12%. I know I'll get a guaranteed 12% return. So if I can't make more than 12% for my work, it's almost not worth it because I can loan it to any fixed developer in Hawaii at 12% and get that guaranteed return rate of return, right? So
that's an interesting way to think of it always. And I think of that too myself when in flips ourselves, what's the return that if I were to do a flip with my own money, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but my money, I'm really just paying myself 12%.
Yeah.
Really.
So if you're not making, you have to pay yourself 12% and then your profits after that, right? Because if you didn't do the flip and you just loaned your money to another flipper, they're gonna give you 12% anyway, right?
So might as well, So people would think, why don't you just flip one house and use all your own money? Is because we value our money could be doing more. We can do a lot more with little bits of our money, spread out. So I'm actually spread out in a lot of my deals. I'm in the back behind a lot of my deals. But the velocity of money, guys. So because the last part of it all we didn't just get to was after we refinance out at a higher rate, even today, a higher rate, we can do a rate and term in 2 to 3 years. It's a lot easier to do with the bank. Once you have just a loan in place on a property, if you're doing like for like, you know how it's very easy to work with a bank for rate and terms. And they actually give you better rates in general for rate and term and better LTVs.
Because there's already a previous bank who kind of vetted your deal and said, I'm buying off on this like LTV or this like this asset. So as opposed to them coming in and giving out cash, it's more risky for them. But if another bank kind of already pre-approved you, now the rate and term they're more likely to, the rules will be less stringent. There'll be like better rates, and you're less of a risk going to get a better rate just because there's already an existing loan in place that another bank kind of pre-vetted you with. Right? So,
You're just moving into whatever next rate.
And that's exactly why like the rate and term on the BRRRR works better than the cash out refinance, because even if it's a private money lender, another lender came in and said like, hey, like I'm vetting this deal for this much. So when like the new bank comes in, like that's why like it doesn't have to be 6 months, because the short amount of time, the higher their risk, right? So because there's already a loan in place, it lowers their risk in their eyes. So that's why even your rate and term on the existing loan will be less interest, and also like a shorter seasoning period or zero seasoning period.
Zero seasoning. I mean this is just There's just utilizing money and utilizing banks and utilizing what you have available. And making it all work and flow together.
The thing is, you just want to play by their rules, right? So they have a set of rules, they have their boxes that they play in. As long as you know their rules and their boxes, now you adjust like your game plan to their rules. And then once you know the rules, you can like make whatever game plan as long as you fit their boxes.
You're just playing ahead of time too. I mean that's how we analyze deals, when we think ahead, you know of what we can do to make deals work. I think the old school thinking was to buy a property and pay it off cash and have no debt. Now we utilize debt, there's good debt, and to buy more. I think that old school, our parents' way of thinking to pay off properties, was a different type of thinking. And although these properties that are paying off were, 20, 40 grand back then, our properties nowadays is not 20, 40 grand.
I wish you could buy for 20, 40 grand over here, man. I'd buy like 10 of those bad boys.
There's some flips actually, and why not? I wish I even were keeping nowadays, because the values went up so much. Actually, that's another play I was thinking about is, you can buy a flip or property in Waikiki. We're looking at one right now in Waikiki. It's just a small, dinky little property, cheap. If we put a renter in it and just break even or make something, you could sell in 3 to 5 years just with appreciation.
I mean, so we're actually doing that strategy right now. So like, I think the typical BRRRR is like you're one cash flow positive, but because Hawaii is such an appreciation play, if we can cash flow even, then or even like a little bit negative, the appreciation that you gain over the next 5 to 10 years will be worth that. As long as you can stomach the negative or have the reserves for the negative or even cash flow. I think that's the big thing. Is like, if you're not in a place where you have a reserves for that thing, then like it's risky. But as long as you know that like I can stomach the little bit negative cash flow over the next 5 years, the appreciation that you get from that will be higher than like a cash flow.
I would recommend to do that for condos too, not a house, because a house you can get a big expense too if you're not ready.
But the thing about the house is like there's no HOA too, right? So like you can get a big expense, but if you just flipped it, then you know it's like everything is taken care of, like like the.
But when you analyze your deal, you just make even on the HOA. So I'm analyzing a small one right now, and I'm actually looking on my computer right now, and the HOA and everything's factored in.
And it's even or a little bit like it's good cash flow or even.
Well, as a single family, actually, this one we'll probably try midterm.
Okay.
Midterms, right?
I mean, that's another one, midterm, to kind of get your cash flow up too.
I've been liking the midterm. We've gotten 4 of them now. 4 of them, I think, we got going on right now. And all you spend more money is just doing furniture. And we can do furniture for $3,000 to $5,000, depending on the house. Just make Costco work. And you can rent it for a lot more. I did it on, I have a flip in Eva that wasn't selling, and we just tried it. Threw it on the app.
Airbnb or
not
Furnish
Airbnb,
Finders?
Furnish Finders, We just threw it on there and see. The cool thing about Furnish Finders is it's not instantaneous booking. You have to accept them. You have to interview them. So you can just see how well you do.
Your tenants, right? So,
Don't you have something in Waikiki a midterm? I think you have.
We have some in North Shore. Nothing Waikiki.
It's hard to play that game. And even Airbnbs in general too. It's not as we were talking about either. It's not as glamorous as it all seems to be sometimes.
It can be a headache, definitely. It's such a it's such a customer service base, like the
Mm-hmm.
like Airbnbs.
Yeah, we have somebody who just answers the questions and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have automated responses, but we also have a VA that helps.
The thing is, you're so beholden to like the reviews, so they can basically like blackmail you for reviews,
Yeah.
like if they need to, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just
Yeah.
it's just like it can be a headache sometimes, I think.
Yeah,
so.
I think I just gave up on 1 month. Well, not one quarter, and I just
Mhm.
let it go. I'm like, whatever, let them do whatever. I mean, we still were getting so much booking.
Yeah. Like,
But now in hindsight, I'm like, shit, I should have been on it. Because they write a review, and especially what we're running into now is we have so many Airbnbs, you're just gonna get bad reviews.
Yeah.
And
I mean, the
it's
amount of
something.
manpower to stay on it is like it's intense. So
Yeah.
even our guys, for ours, we've got a guy who's like, he spends like over abundant amount of time just trying to like please the tenants just to keep the reviews up. And like it's just like to me it's a waste of time, or like it's a huge time sink, but it's just necessary to kind of like keep your superhost status.
Super
right?
host,
Like
yeah. So you're popping
it's a
up
pain.
first and so forth, and
Yeah.
and doing all that. How many Airbnbs you guys have?
3. So,
On this island in Hawaii?
oh yeah. So
Where are they?
on North Shore side.
Oh,
so,
nice, nice. And you have a channel manager to manage it all too. You use a channel.
We got a. I don't even know what he uses. He uses something. I'm not sure what software he uses.
Oh,
to be
really?
honest with you, yeah. So
You gotta use a channel manager. Like we use Guesty.
I think he uses Guesty. I think that's what he uses.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You probably would have had to set it up.
One thing, no, I told him just do whatever you want. So this is a part of like delegation, right? Where as we're growing, I'm like, hey, like I don't want to have anything to do with the Airbnbs. You handle it. You just tell me like what you need, and then, like you set up the accounts, deposit into this bank account, and then however you want to do it, like you do it. So it's actually running on his account. So like it's he's the one in charge of it. He's the one like doing A to Z and just kind of taking ownership.
That's your project manager guy set it up.
What
Not your
originally operations manager, but he got upgraded to our COO recently.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. But not you wasn't your VA. That's
No, like a local guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
local
yeah.
guy, so.
I was gonna say don't have your VA set up because that's money you're involved there.
Yeah. There is some like separation that you need to do over there.
Yeah.
Shout out to Josh. Thank you, by the way, for all your hard work. Appreciate you, bro.
There you go. Nice. It's nice to have a good guy, a good team involved. We have a great team too. It's nice to take a lot off your plate. And you know, I find is as I get a bigger team, I thought it would relieve a lot off my plate. I think my plate just gets bigger.
Yeah,
and bigger.
it's a different plate. It's like instead of doing like the work, now you have to like keep people motivated, manage them, make sure they get what they need. It's like it's definitely like I know what you mean. Like it's
well
it's
that
a
and then
skill
my
set.
attention just now is okay on to new thing, multi and commercial. Now I have some time to focus on this.
Yeah.
Now my plate just got.
Well, that's the thing is like if like so that's why Josh has been so key for us because like he'll take things off my plate where I don't have to think about it. So like the Airbnb is a great example where like a lot of decisions need to be made. Like problems are coming up. And like I tell him like, dude, don't even tell me what's going on because I don't want to waste some mental bandwidth. I'm just thinking about thinking about it, not even making decisions. Like I just don't even want to like I was like I'm gonna pretend it's not there. You handle it and then like we're good. Kind of thing. So yeah.
I still like to know. So they all take it off my plate, but I still like to keep an open emails and so forth just in case. I don't know. It's something about me. I always like to know, just in case what's going on. I don't know. I actually get annoyed if I don't know. But that's cool. It's cool. That's about how to grow, guys. It's about how to build a big team, and we're not doing this all ourselves, as you guys all might think we are.
It started out by yourself, though, right? Like when you the first probably couple of years, you're just solopreneur doing everything. You had to like kind of hustle, and I think a lot of times what I see is guys try to go too fast, where they think like they're gonna start delegating before like they're ready to delegate. I think, but you need to have like the income and the kind of at least the baseline in place first before you can kind of start. Delegating.
It's always a struggle. How do you deal with that? Well, when to grow and when to? It's a struggle for everybody. You know, when to hire a new guy.
Yeah. There's always like that push and pull. Like, are you hiring ahead of the work or after the work, right?
Yes.
And like the
can
positions.
you afford it? You know, and so forth. Is this gonna take away? You know, is it gonna allow you to make more money? Because the goal is. It can take away from your time, but now you need to make more money.
I think it's always an initial investment, right? Because like when someone joins your team, usually they're not they're not going to take off right away. So you have to put time, energy, and effort to training, get them acclimated.
Well,
with
you
your
have a
team
bunch of
system,
interns, right? So you spend a lot of time.
So I mean, that's the thing is like there's always an ROI cost of like onboarding or like training, and then what do you get back in return? And sometimes you're not gonna see the return immediately, but it's gonna be like maybe like months down the line.
Do you train all your interns, or you have somebody to help
It's been like a long, like, I guess, a process and journey over, like, so right now the way it works is they're working like some of the hours of the week, and then we have like training days or training like sessions like separate from like that what their working times. So,
But by you.
Yeah, by me. So.
How have you been with the turnaround of interns and training them?
I mean, to be honest with you, like the ROI in like the intern is not huge as far as like work you're getting done, but it's more like a passion project. Like I enjoy like teaching like young people and just like helping them get their start. So it's not always about like our company gets back. So I think when we first started it, like it was probably like a negative deficit where the time that Attention and I spent on the internship program was like negative to like our actual like income producing things. Yeah. But it's just like I learned a lot through that process. So I grew as a leader, I grew as like as a boss at different things. And so like even though like it was like negative ROI like in the short term, in the long term the result of me like building better systems and becoming a better leader and like pouring into like building myself or like growing as a person probably like paid off like down the road now. So now our internship program looks different because I'm able to delegate better, I'm able to like lead better just because like
they're
kind of like
your failures.
Yeah, exactly. And so like that. But it definitely like it's internship program is really like it's really a passion project. I think like you do spend a lot of time and energy with like not a whole lot of income generating activities.
I love that passion project because we're open our co-working space down in Waikiki and I have a passion project not for interns but to teach kids about how young kids, because I have young kids, so to teach them about financial literacy, just balance sheet statements and read a profit and loss and how to open a bank account and all that.
I mean that's super cool because it's something like you're very good at and like you have like a lot of experience at, and so you're passionate about that, and you just translate that into something like else that you're like, it's a good like marriage, right? Where like you like kids.
They don't teach you that stuff in school.
Yeah, no, it's so sad.
They don't teach you how to
need
start
like
a company.
As opposed to having like a home ec or something, we just need like a personal finance like 101 or something for like high school or something.
They should. It's so funny, but it's such a common thing and especially even taxes too nowadays,
Taxes, how to buy a house, how to buy a car, how to keep your credit score, how to use credit card points, how to budget and track all these things. Just one class, like one semester. That's like
I could do that class in a year.
Yeah,
I could easily teach that.
I mean, but high school students need that. I think. So,
I think it should be a requirement. Actually,
no, I agree. I 100% agree.
I mean, people need to know how to do that right out of coming out of high school. Even started. I wonder why they don't teach that in school. It's the whole trying to keep people down thing, right?
I don't know.
But we both have the abundance mindset of I think there's enough for everyone to go around and to teach each other and to teach each other, because I think once you become successful and you realize you start making money in the business, there's enough to go around and you can teach each other how to be better and be better successful in versions of themselves.
Yeah. You're always trying to like make the world a better place, right? And I think when you're first starting out, to be honest with you, like when I first started out, it was for my selfish reasons. Like I wanted financial freedom.
I don't think it's for your selfish or me. I think it's just you're so focused on so much going on, you don't have time.
Well, I mean,
it's just the time.
I mean, maybe you weren't like this, but I think I was selfish like that. I was just trying to I wanted to reach financial freedom for myself, and it was like what can I do to like better my life, right? And so but there's a certain point where if you get some traction or some success, now you can look, how can I also use this to help other people as well? But I think when I first started, it was like, I mean, I always loved sharing or teaching, but it wasn't like, my goal was like, I want financial freedom for like me and my family, versus like, okay, now let's try and...
I mean, yes, we all want financial freedom. So. But to me, it's just the time factor. I could go and do that. I had a conversation with somebody the other day. It was, how come you don't go and help the environment and be a better person? I get it, and that's great, and I feel for the cause, but there's 8 billion people in this world. The 799 billion people in this world, they can maybe have the time for it. I just don't have the time. I choose what I want to.
You only have so many hours every day, right? Like you gotta like say no to things. Every time you say yes to something, you say no to something else.
Yeah, exactly. That's so true. And then with the family and kids and all that, so trying to juggle life,
prioritize everything.
It's definitely a struggle. So what does your portfolio look like today? I know we talked earlier, but
some single families in Indy, single families here in Hawaii.
Did you still kept all your original Indy ones?
I still have all of them.
Oh, you still have all of them?
Yeah,
I remember that's when you started.
Yeah, first started.
You have like 9.
6, six in Indy,
All in the same area?
Near the like similar spots, similar spot.
How were you finding all that? Oh.
That was all wholesalers back
Mm.
then. Yeah, it's like that.
How are you getting your mailing stuff now? Is it
So
brokers
actually,
or something?
the commercial business we're buying now is through this mentorship WNN. So
Yeah.
CJ and Jasmine, like
Nice.
they run a commercial mentorship, and really like the idea of joining the mentorship was like leveraging their knowledge and their team, and so like they've done all the hard work of like the broker relationships, the contractors, like the property managers, all those different kinds of things, and so we're not having to build all those relationships from scratch, but we can like jump on board theirs and okay, like we have like our skill set and our resources, like let's just leverage what they've already built, and then we'll just like magnify it versus like trying to start from scratch. You know?
Yeah, that's awesome. Another commercial. So you have 2 shopping
We got
strip malls.
5 buildings. I mean, they're all just like office retail in Kansas City.
Office retail.
Yeah,
Nice.
office retail,
Not
Kansas
multi, they're office retail.
Yeah, office retail, yeah. So.
Yeah, that's cool. The office space is pretty exciting to look at too. I mean, the triple net and some of these different things you can have with the office is so much easier to manage.
Yeah, and once the tenant's in place, like management is a cake.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then management is actually a lot cheaper in commercial too. I think we're paying 4 or 3% actually to our bigger management too. So it's not the traditional 10%.
Yeah.
Single family world.
That's true.
Nice. So I know you go through a ton of education and a ton of different meetups. And what's some of the pros and cons you can share with? You don't have to say the education programs, but what do you?
I mean, like it's the biggest thing to me, from at least my perspective, is like the networking, like just like the resources, like that the people that you meet. And so like I think when I first started, like I thought like it's like all the education and knowledge is out there. So like I think even when I joined these education programs, I don't learn a whole lot as far as like the learning side. It's just talking to people. I think just like seeing what they're doing, being inspired by them, holding people accountable like for like your goals, and then just like there's like a little small resource like, hey, like have you thought about this? And like even this conversation that we had like an hour ago, like I was like thinking of different ideas that you're doing, like that sparks like a little creative thought on my side, like oh maybe I can try this or this, and then. Then like maybe I'll say something small like hey tell me more about that, what you're doing there, and they'll just kind of start
it's
this
for
like,
the moments for that little
it's like these little like tiny moments that are just kind of sparking the creativity for like either solving your problem or kind of like fixing something or like trying a new strategy that you thought like I never thought about doing that, or that's like a really good way that you're attacking that problem. So
I really enjoy. I like I'm more into the high level mentorship program because of that, because you get those high level conversations. And I find actually in the high level mentorships that I pay for, they're more helpful. Like it's an open book. Any high level investor. Like,
the top guys, they're not trying to hide their secrets. They want to share with you and they want to see you succeed.
I like that about it all compared to. Some of what programs are you in now? What do you?
So I'm in
how do you juggle it?
WNN, the commercial program, Sub 2, and then Ryan Pineda's.
You Ryan Pineda's one too?
You just recently I just recently joined, and it was just because of, like that network basically. It was just like I didn't feel like there's not a whole lot of knowledge inside. Like that, I mean, maybe like because we've been doing it for like a few years, we have like enough on the fix and flip side to like kind of like figure out a way, but like the relationships and the things that you learn inside there is really invaluable. I think so.
And you're also in our dear friend, God bless him, Steve's group.
Steve Rosenberg, and he's
a great guy.
His coaching program,
he's a great guy. I love
he was by far the most expensive, but then he was well worth the price too. So
And you did. He's a great guy.
But I mean, he's a super. I mean, like from a business standpoint, so like. I think when you reach a certain level of real estate investing, it becomes less investing and more small business. And so like the problems I was trying to solve in the beginning was like investing problems, like how do I analyze a deal, how do I talk to contractors, all these different things. But as you grow as an investor, you eventually become like the small business problems where like how do I like to get my P&Ls correctly, how do I hire the right person, how do I like make sure like manage like the team. So these are all the different kinds of problems that you're running into. It's not solved by the investing books, it's solved by the small business books. And then Steve is an excellent small business like coach and mastermind.
Yeah, he's great. He helped me a lot too in my business as well, just thinking differently. And there's no one that ever teaches you that kind of stuff. That's really hard to find.
It is.
People that teach you that kind of growth mentality of it all. And I think that's some of the hardest parts of the business is sometimes we're great at what we do. Like, you know, a plumber may be a great plumber and be great at being a plumber, but then he goes and opens a business and he's not a great businessman.
It's different. It's the whole E-Myth book, right? Where like it's exactly like you're saying, like he might be a great plumber, but then when you're a business owner now, you've got like hired other plumbers, you've got to manage payroll, you got to market yourself.
Yeah.
There's you got to do accounting. Like accounting's a huge pain, man.
Yeah.
Like, there's all these different kind of taxes, like like all these different parts. Like
there's so many hats that you got to wear. I was talking about this the other day. The girls were. I was on a deep dive conversation with. I think just built something with the project. I was deep into construction mode of the project, and typing, we're working, and she comes at me and she just asked me something completely different about I think social media. And I like literally had to like pause.
Your mind is like it's like a 10-second switch over to social media. And they go back to like the thing. Yeah,
it's so weird that you have to know so much about so many different traits and be the expert in the. Even in lending, the lending
world.
I
know that. I mean, there's so many different aspects to it, right? That you kind of gotta oversee.
You're working with a lender in the commercial world, and these guys do it 20, 30 years straight, and they do it every day, all day. That's all they do. And then you got to have a deep conversation with them, asking, in-depth questions. How we were talking about commercial earlier, knowing
all the ins and outs, right? The thing is, like when you're the business owner, you don't have an expert to do it for you, right? Like, no, you have to kind of learn it yourself before you can hand it off a lot of times. And so just like trying to learn all the different avenues, sometimes it can be overwhelming, right?
It's a lot. And then in the lending world, it's the only one they want to speak to. I try to give it off as much as I can, but the banks always want to speak directly to you. So, I mean, you kind of should be speaking directly to them because it's your money at stake. But, you're talking about social media. We didn't even talk about it. So you have a great following. You have a big following. Do you recommend everyone to jump into social media and start it, or to start business first? What do you recommend for the new guy? Dive into social media first, or dive into being a flipper?
I think
or investor?
so. There's no right or wrong way, but I think you have to be aware that social media, if you do it right, it takes a lot of time, energy, and money, like everything. And so like when I started doing social media, it actually took a lot away from my fix and flip business because I literally spent like 20 hours a week just doing social media, and then now we hire like people to like help manage it and things to leverage even more. But like you have to be prepared for like the amount of time, energy, and effort that it takes, and even just mental bandwidth, like creatively coming up with ideas or responding to people and these different kinds of things. And so like I think if you're starting out, you can start with social media alongside your investing. Just realize your investing is going to suffer because you're doing social media. And if you want to do like investing first, like when you actually do make the transition or start doing social media, realize that it's going to take away from your investing or your small business side.
I 100% agree. I kind of hated social media at the very beginning of it.
I'm like, that's like my one thing that's like, so I can delegate everything else, but social media is so hard to delegate just because it has to be like your face, and so it's such a to me that's one of the things that's so hard to delegate. And I know there's a lot of big influencers struggle with this. So I know Pineda, he was trying to do his own that's why he created the Wealthy Way separate accounts and everything. So he had his students kind of being a part of it. So he's kind of pulling himself out of he's trying to figure out a way to delegate it. At the end of the day, he had to jump back in, I think, and now he's got his own podcast where he's still the face. I mean, it's just hard to delegate the social media aspect of it just because it usually has to be
you have to film and you have to do it, and I mean that's what it's for. I was never a big believer in social media at the beginning. I'm just gonna build my business and be a great flipper. I'm gonna focus on business, and I just have blinders to even people.
But that's good because you've had a lot of success, and that probably is a big part of it.
But I wish I did social media at the beginning more too, just to have it going, at least dabbling.
Yeah, in it. It's like another investment. It's like you're planting another tree. So just like you buy rental, and then maybe 10 years later, it's kind of paying off in a multi, right? So social media is you're investing into this other kind of cool thing that's kind of synergistic with what you're doing, but then. It's not going to be overnight sensation, right? It's going to take a couple of years. It's going to be slow, steady build, and it's going to be its own separate.
Are you big on? Are you big on TikTok too?
I just have our team just reposting our Instagram stuff.
We've been struggling going on TikTok actually for some.
It's a different audience. It's a different kind of culture and engagement. And so if you don't create things specific for that particular platform, I think you're gonna suffer a little bit as far as your engagement and your time.
Are you able to grow on your TikTok?
I think ours is super small. So we do no engagement or
no
things in
comments,
there. It's just reusing our Instagram stuff. So.
And are you on YouTube too? YouTube Shorts.
Just reposting the same thing where like
Yeah.
it's just reposting like some of our Instagram. So our main thing is Instagram, and then we just repurposing like TikTok and YouTube, like and doing the bare minimum for those. Those
And
two
Facebook?
platforms.
Are you in groups? Or you do groups?
Just random other like investor groups, but not really like I mean
Not
nothing
going through.
nothing social media wise.
Because I do like Facebook. Actually, I was more into Facebook, I think, before than Instagram, of course. But are you doing any wholesaling or any other?
We were for like a little while back before, like, but then some nationwide wholesaling stuff, but we shut that off. It wasn't like a good use of our time, I think.
Yeah, it was too much.
Personally, yeah, like the time and energy it took to run it, and then the amount of profit we were making, it doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
So at least our operation.
How many did you guys wholesale out?
3 or 4, like not a whole lot.
In Hawaii? It was in Hawaii.
It was all out of state, yeah. So.
Have you tried wholesaling anything here in Hawaii?
No, I haven't. Yeah, so.
I bought some wholesale deals from our friends.
Yeah.
Friends
Well, actually, I bought one from you.
Yeah.
So.
I bought one from.
But.
I paid $100,000 for one from one of our other friends.
And I'll buy wholesale deals. Just it never made sense for us to wholesale at the time for the deals that we had that we locked
I
up.
tried to wholesale, I think, 2 deals before here locally, and they're obviously harder deals. I'm not going to wholesale like the
cookie, the free ones.
Yeah,
you just give away money.
This was probably 2019, maybe right before COVID. I tried to wholesale a deal off, and it was just a hard flip. It was. We had to go up. We had the whole upstairs. We had to do a ton of work. Parking was junk, and I had too much going. I think at the time it was really hard. And I tried to wholesale, and no one would want to buy it, and no one wanted to buy the deal. I was only going to wholesale for like $10,000. I wasn't like trying to make a killing. And no one ever wanted to buy that deal. I ended up doing the deal myself, and I think I made almost 100 off of it. And I mean, obviously I'm not crying about it, but it took me a year. But I think. Sometimes trying to sell wholesale deals off here in Hawaii, because we know what we can and cannot do. We know what we can push and make happen. You know, I think sometimes a new guy is not ready to take
on the projects you want to wholesale.
Or take on that risk. Really, you know, we understand our risk better because that's what we do. We mitigate risk. We figure out how to make this project less risky, of course. And how to add value and so forth. How are you guys adding for flips right now, or kind of dabbling?
We're kind of slowing down. Like we have a bunch like going right now, but we're just like I think we have like 12 running actively. But then we're kind of slowing down just because of the market.
Not
and
12 under construction. 12.
Either in construction or in escrow
market,
to sell.
I say the same numbers too. That's why I just ask curious. Because I'll say how much we have going, but secondly there's. I
some
think
escrow,
6 is under construction. I sometimes think of that. Well, when I say how much I have going, it's not actually how many I have under construction.
It's also includes
like
market, we just listed them or whatever. So
Is your stuff moving? Everything moving?
Yeah. So we had the last 2. We had 1 weekend of showings and like multiple what we're asking so far. The last 2 we
And you put them on the market?
Yeah, so we put them on the market.
You listed something not on the market, right? You were doing.
There was one. We listed them like on pre-market, and then after like 2 weeks, we'll put them on the market. So
you wait 2 weeks. So they're actually ready for 2 weeks.
Yeah, like we're staged, photographs, everything for 2 weeks, just sitting there.
And you won't put it on.
Yeah, we're just like, hey, if anybody wants to buy without the commissions, like here's like your chance. But if nobody bites, then like that. So far, we haven't any. We had one where.
Do you think that's costing you in the sense that that's 2 weeks you could be on?
Yeah, definitely costing. Yeah. So, but I just want to provide an opportunity for someone to like, in the case that they're ready to pull the trigger, and then they'll get like some equity built into the house, right? So.
Are you selling at the same price as you list?
No, sorry, we're cutting out like the realtor commission side, right? So like it's.
So you list for that much less?
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not listening. I'm just advertising.
I mean the advertising
for
Oh, you do.
But I mean, so somebody missed out on this deal because we listed for 2 weeks and no buyers, and we put it on the market. We got $70,000 over asking, so they would have had like a big, like probably like $100,000.
And you're getting over asking, nice.
Yeah, they would have got a big discount if they bought it off market.
Yeah.
But I mean,
that's nice. You're getting over asking. That means the market's. What area was these?
One's Ainahaina, one is Kalihi. So
Oh, nice, great markets.
Yeah.
So everything's moving then.
So far, I mean, we have one that I think we overpriced in Waianae, but like I think we had a price shop this past weekend, and we had a bunch of like people come through.
How much is that now?
$790.
In Macau?
Lualole.
Oh, Lolole, yeah. 790. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
I know.
it's like it's a house hack. So
Yeah. Nice. I think we got 750 in escrow just now in that area. So you're
awesome.
close. But I don't know, our square footage is different, you know. But yeah, the market is definitely a different type of market. And what have you been kind of changing or doing differently?
Just being more conservative across the board, I think.
Yeah.
Just like knowing that where the market is and adjusting like your ARVs and also like your list price, and then just putting a lot more time and energy effort into the marketing on each flip, because before you just throw it on the MLS and like you're gonna get like tons of. But now like I spend money on like digital marketing. I put it out for like making calls to realtors. I mean, there's a lot more effort that's going into this.
You were doing that? You were making calls?
We're asking people to do our realtors or our team to make calls on our behalf, or like throwing it out to like advertise to like our escrow companies or different kinds of things, just so like we're trying to maximize the marketing that we're doing on the sales side, just for like get the most eyes on it, basically. So
you have escrow send it out to you for you?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So
when you're ready to hit the market?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's good. I mean, you got to do whatever it takes to move. Are you doing washers and dryers in all your flips?
Yeah.
Oh, you do washers and
Yeah.
dryers? I don't do it on my Y9 ones. Sometimes I do.
Mm-hmm.
I was
like leave the hookups in place.
Yeah, of course. You have everything ready to go. But sometimes I don't do washers and dryers.
You thinking it's going to get stolen, or?
No, I'm just trying to save money. But now we are doing washers and dryers. Before, whatever, when the market was hot.
We had like appliances stolen before. Like it's
you did?
Yeah, so
Oh, jeez. From where? Where was that?
It was like North Shore side. So,
North Shore. Oh, shit.
Yeah,
I never got stolen. I think maybe I have one. Why for some reason? I get stolen like outside of Waianae.
Yeah.
Like Manoa or like the nicer neighborhoods. Kahala, I think we got stolen. But it's a battle, of course. I think we did get our lumber stolen all at one time. But
my very first project, I was doing a project in Waianae, like my very first one. So like doing all the lumber work myself, right? The first day we bought it, I was like, okay, I'm psyched. So I tried to do the work myself when I first started.
Yeah, of course.
I brought all these tools from like Home Depot, all these bins. Like I put them into the house, right? Left, and the next day, all my stuff was stolen. Someone like climbed the window, took all my tools, like all my stuff. Like, it was like, welcome to investing in Hawaii.
And you got all the nice tools.
I mean, like, it was new from like whatever Home Depot, right? Because I was like, let's buy this, let's get all the supplies. But
I buy the good
supplies,
deals too.
So.
Actually, I buy it for my guys, and I let them take it. Because I actually am for. I'll buy them nice tools, the guys that work for me. Because if it helps them be more efficient, faster,
I pay for time, right?
Why not?
So, and it's like the good job sites.
Yeah, I have my own personal crews. I do that for. So the last section we have an investor insight, basically, and it's where our investors come through, or generally people ask questions. So one of our questions from Keanu, he says, I'm just starting out on my efforts to get more deals. Where should I be placing the bulk of my energy when it comes to marketing, online, tapping signs up, and text blasting? So finding deals, Keanu wants to know what are you finding most of your deals? I know you have a great website.
I mean, so like I think it really matters on like your skill set and like your experience, time, energy, and money. So every avenue works, whether it's online, whether it's texting, whether it's cold calling, whether it's branded signs, whether it's direct mail. It all works.
Yeah.
It just matters of where you're gonna put your time, energy, and effort, and how much time and money do you have. So like the online stuff that we do, like it works pretty well, but it is expensive, and so like you just have to have the budget for it, and like some of it is also expertise, because I was a software developer.
That's your
so I put in like my own like skill and like level into that, alongside with a lot of money.
Your
so,
site was number one for a while. It's still number one.
It's depending on the keyword search. I think we're pretty top ranked.
And do you do a lot of market stuff on there?
I mean, like I run like a lot of like the like design and like the SEO and stuff myself personally.
Oh, you do?
But it's just because my background is like software, right? So like it's I'm using my competitive advantage in the what we do. But I mean, we've done like texting, cold calling, direct mail. The only thing we haven't done is branded signs, but I know they work. But just we haven't done them ourselves personally. But
what do you like best?
So far, it's like the online, and then also like the social media and agent outreach has also been like really good for us too. Like just people who want to like bring us or partner with us on deals, and so like that's been like a really, since our social media has like kind of taken off, we had more eyes and people who want to like partner with us, and so partnerships and online I think is our top two right now.
Nice. not always easy. I think they leave that out in a lot of the guru classes on how to find deals or how hard it is to find deals.
Yeah. How many mailers you have to send out, and how many like negotiations?
How much money
and
you got to spend?
Yeah, exactly.
To do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought when I first started, like I was spending like $300 on some mailers. And it was a lot to me at the beginning. It's like $300 not gonna get you nothing.
That's like good luck.
I think I was brand new and I paid whatever the software I was using and click and they do it all for you. And I was like, I clasped my fingers, hoping I could get it. They didn't get nothing, of course. Not even a call. This is the hard thing with online marketing is you spend all that money. It's not even just getting a call. You still have to eventually.
Well, you have to follow up. I mean, and the thing is like
you gotta get a lead.
Yeah, I mean, like there's also a sales side of like being able to like work with owners or sellers, and so like these marketing will kind of get your foot in the door, but then you still have to go out there and have like the conversations and actually close the transaction. I think that's also another like people don't realize how much work and time and energy and effort and skill that does take. So like practicing like your calling and like your conversations and like being able to structure deals correctly so it's a win-win for both sides, etc. So
so you got to kind of try it all. I think actually, I mean, early on, one of the coaching programs I was in, they talked about being a professional at one avenue. Like short sale was really popular back then, and mailers. And they said you just got to be the best at that one thing. And I never took that. I came back to Hawaii, and I never I did it all. I like tried it all. And I think you almost got to try everything to see what works.
I mean, it doesn't help to like dabble, but then like after you dabble, you kind of find one like, hey, like I like this the most, or I feel like the most talented, or like at this one that just kind of focus on this lane.
I never maybe 4 or 5 years ago I was like fine with how much deal flow I was getting, and I never like pushed to do more. I was like fine. I was like,
I mean, that's the thing too. Like even for us, like we were doing a lot of outbound marketing, but we have enough deal flow at our current like pace. So we're not trying to. We actually shut down some marketing channels because we don't want more deal flow at this point. We just want to like keep our current deal flow and then be able to like manage that. So like
I think I did that early on, and I was fine with how much deals I was getting. Flow, and then I was thinking, man, I should turn it up more and just start wholesaling the ones I don't want. But then I was just fine where I was at. I think for a while I was just good.
I think that's where we're at right now for our company.
You get a comfortable. You know how much projects you can handle. Just not just even the projects. There's the buying, the selling, the whole other side of it all, and then dealing with your rentals. And all of that side.
Even though like our fix and flip, I think we're good. We're always looking to grow, so I think that's why we're looking more towards like multifamily and apartment buildings. But then so like instead of putting our energy into growing our fix and flip, like we have a good flow, we've got a good like kind of rhythm. Now let's take some of the energy and look into some of the bigger deals, tax savings, cash flow like on the mainland. So like it's actually like it's a good ROI on our time versus like for us just personally trying to like do like 50 deals a year or however many, like So.
Yeah. I mean, me too. I think our flipping is running smoothly. We're really great at it, and we've got a great team. Now it's spending more time, and for anyone out there listening, it's to educate you and start learning about all these other things like multifamily and learning about those great cash flow avenues. So deal of the week. Are you raising any money for any projects, or do you have any houses on the market or anything?
We got a few on the market right now, and then we're just like starting. We're in the contract for like a 102 unit in Houston actually, and so we're gonna be partnering on this one with some other guys. But yeah, we'll be looking shortly for some.
Have you raised
partners.
anything yet?
No, I mean, so we don't have like the pitch deck hasn't been approved by the SEC. There's a whole bunch of things that we're under contract, but we're still like due diligence period for this one, but. Shortly, we'll probably be like blasting out to our social media and stuff.
And you'll be one of the GPs on that.
Yeah, and we put on the EMD for this one, so like we're.
Oh, you did EMD. Yeah.
So like that, and then we're part of like the team right now. And then we'll probably be raising, and then also overseeing some of like the.
Was it EMD your money or investors' money?
Our money. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, so. How much is EMD? 100.
200.
Better get the deal. Here's your money at risk.
Well, I mean, like it's refundable. Like I mean, like it's EMD is like if the due diligence period doesn't like pan out, then you can get it back, right?
How long is due diligence?
These are like 60 days. Like it's like commercials kind of or multi-family.
60 days and then 90-day close.
I think so.
Yeah.
Like I'm not. Yeah, I don't.
You just know that 60 days is the main thing.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do this deal or not? I know. I got a huge EMD out there too right now, and you got to know your safety net of it all.
Yeah.
But that's awesome, man. That's awesome. But we go to a lot of events together, and we talk story, and yeah. So thank you. So I know everyone already follows on social media, but whoever doesn't follow, where can everyone follow you out there?
Daniel Kong 808 on Instagram or on TikTok or on Facebook or YouTube.
And I'm Indar, Hawaii, so please like, subscribe. If don't, whatever, just comment, take your time, message, and ask questions. That's the biggest thing. Take your time and go ask some questions out there. We all started from somewhere, and we both have a ton of questions all the time ourselves. So there's no better way just to, take your time and ask a question, DM or message us, ask your real deep down hard questions, and be ready for the answer sometimes. Actually, this is a little off topic, but somebody was asking me a question, and they wanted me to analyze a deal for them the other night, and they just wanted an answer. And instead of telling an answer, I was like, no, I know you can figure out the answer, and I told him what exactly to do to figure out the answer, but he didn't want to take the time to figure it out. So be ready for the answer. You're going to need to do work sometimes, so doesn't come out easily, I would say, in this business.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah. But thank you for being on the show, and thank you for talking. And,
Thanks, yeah.
Thank you guys for listening. Aloha.